I was sitting by the street eating skewers when dozens of Maybachs suddenly slammed their brakes in front of me. My ex-girlfriend, Lou Ruan, was directing people to set off fireworks while having her bodyguards carry over 100 custom-made suits. Hubby, I'm back. I said 5 years, and it's exactly 5 years. I didn't make you wait a single day longer. I kept my promise, right? Pick a suit. We're getting married next week. As for Jingshin next to me, I've already divorced him. Now we're just best friends. I frowned, looking at her like she was brain dead. Psycho. I turned around and walked away. Lou Ruan rushed over, blocking my path with a bouquet. Don't be mad. You know my parents forced me into that arranged marriage. I had no other choice. But I married fast and divorced just as fast. The moment it was done, I came straight back to you. Since you waited for me for 5 years, I'll give you half my assets.
How's that? Sincere enough for you? I've taken care of the wedding. I won't let my hubby worry about a thing. My face darkened and I yelled at the bodyguards. Are you all dead? Drag her away. I already have a kid. Stop bothering me. You think you're some kind of prize? Just as the bodyguards were about to step up, Lou Ruan laughed like an idiot. Ha ha! Mu Yen, 5 years and you haven't changed a bit. I love it most when you scold me. You haven't even changed your bodyguards. You really are so loyal. I was so scared you'd forgotten about me. She laughed, then turned to the bodyguard. Hey, remember me? 5 years ago, I climbed the wall to see Mu Yen, and you pushed me off. My leg still hurts from that. After joking around, her face suddenly turned serious. Mu Yen, you know you're the only one in my heart. Everyone had their difficulties back then. You refused to go abroad with me,
And I was out of options. I couldn't fight my whole family. Thank goodness it's all over now. I made it clear to Jingshin. From now on, we're just best friends. My parents know I'm divorced too. They won't stop me from being with you anymore. I looked at her like she was a complete fool. Lou Ruan, you went abroad for 5 years and forgot to bring your brain back. Who do you think you are? Gold? Diamonds? You think every man has to be obsessed with you. In the wealthy circles, do you think you're the only one forced into an arranged marriage? And I'm not. Lou Ruan rolled her eyes, still looking at me teasingly. You? Oh, come on, please. People in arranged marriages want a gentle husband. Who could stand your hot temper? Marry you just to worship you. I was the only one blind enough to love you all those years and give in to you on everything. Look at outsiders. If you dare lose your temper, they'll snap right back at you. Seeing my face turn cold, Lou Ruan quickly softened her tone. All right, I won't tease you anymore. The past was my fault. I was wrong. Be the bigger person and forgive me this once, okay? Besides, I'm back now. You're over 30 and still unmarried. Your parents must be dying to see me. She giggled, and just looking at her made my blood boil. 5 years ago, we were planning to get married, but she suddenly said we couldn't tie the knot yet, that she had to break it to her family slowly, and then she vanished. I was terrified something had happened to her and searched everywhere. I even called the cops. The result? The police said the Liu family had completed their paperwork, and 3 days prior, the whole family had emigrated abroad. I tracked down her flight and went after her, only to find her having an outdoor wedding with Joe Jingshin. I didn't say a word. I tried to drag her away, but her bodyguards threw me out. By the time she came looking for me, I was treated like a vagrant and had been locked up in a police station, starving for 2 days. You know my parents. They forced me to marry Joe Jingshin. They said it was the only way to establish ourselves abroad. I really couldn't fight them. Otherwise, they threatened to break my legs and forbid me from ever seeing you again. She was clearly the one at fault, yet she cried more pitifully than I did. Mu Yen, can you just wait for me a little longer? I swear I've never let him touch me. Just 5 years. I'll divorce him and come back to marry you. I returned to the country and was devastated for a whole month. My buddies couldn't stand seeing me like that and dragged me to a party. That was when I met Fu Yanren. Seeing my silence, Lou Ruan smiled even brighter. She leaned in close and shoved the bouquet into my arms. All right, I know you still have feelings for me. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep hovering around my house. You just wanted to see if I was back yet, right? Now that you see me, are you happy? I frowned and glanced behind her at the massive hospital. Lou Ruan, are you blind to what's right behind you? If your eyesight is that bad, go get glasses. Move. Lou Ruan wasn't angry. Instead, her smile deepened. You're still so stubborn. I know you best. You hate hospitals. Even when you're sick, you call a doctor to your house. If you're not here because you miss me, then why? All right, don't worry. I completely understand your feelings. See you in 7 days, my groom. She straightened her back and smugly patted her chest. That sheer audacity made my blood pressure spike. I smashed the bouquet onto the ground. Are you actually sick in the head? Call Joe Jingshin to come control you. Letting a psycho roam free is a public hazard. I had barely taken 2 steps away when Lou Ruan looked down, furiously typing on her phone. Bro, your trick really worked.
He's jealous. He still likes me. Once I'm married, I'll give you a seat at the head table. Jingshin replied with a voice message, his tone completely emotionless. Sure. Well, congratulations in advance. Make sure to invite me. Lou Ruan put her phone away and quickly ordered her bodyguards to load the suits into the car. Be careful. My husband is a neat freak. Don't get them dirty. After that, she called out to my retreating back. Jiang Muyen, make sure you try them on. If you don't like them, I'll stay up all night picking new ones for you. The car door slammed shut. My face darkened. Then a whole carload of suits was delivered to my house. Uncle Wang walked over with a chuckle and asked, Sir, are these for the young master? Consider it a gift from his aunt for when he gets married. Uncle Wang smiled awkwardly. Sir, the young master is playing with your limited edition fountain pen. He's got ink all over his face. If we bring these suits up, they'll probably be ruined too. Right on cue, my son came skipping out, his face smeared with ink, and dove straight into my arms. He rubbed ink all over me. Daddy, you're home. How's my little sister? Is she being naughty? I was just about to say the baby was only 2 months along. How could we know if it's a boy or a girl? But the next second, his eyes glued to the pile of suits. Wow, Daddy, they're so pretty. I want to wear them. I want to wear them. Uncle Wang hurriedly pulled him back. Oh, my little ancestor. You're all dirty. Don't ruin the clothes. I sat down and poured myself a glass of hot water. Let him be. Keeping them is just keeping a pile of trash anyway. But thinking of something, I let out a cold laugh. Next time we see her, I'll let the boy thank her himself. Kids are always full of boundless energy. Over 100 suits were completely trashed by him every 2 hours. Seeing nothing left to play with, he clung to me, begging for ice cream. Left with no choice, I took him to the mall. As soon as we walked in, we ran into Jingshin trying on rings. The woman next to him raised an eyebrow. It was that same punchable face. Miss me already? Take me off your blacklist. Call me if you need anything, so you don't run off again. She shamelessly sat right in front of me, her eyes shining with eager anticipation. Did you try on the suits? Did you like any of them? No, I picked them exactly to your taste. It took me a whole year to find them all. Seeing how sincere I am, stop being mad at me, okay? Men age faster when they're always angry. I pressed my lips tightly together and said coldly, whether I age or not is none of President Liu's concern. I'm not getting married anyway. A good dog doesn't block the way. Move. The people around us were all eavesdropping. Being humiliated by me in public, her face changed colors. Who are you calling a dog? I've treated you well enough. Don't push it. So what if you waited 5 years for me? I was working hard abroad for your sake too. I only gave in to you because I like you. Don't think you're all that. All you do is cause trouble when you go out. How big do you think the Jiang family is to let you act so arrogant? Don't you know your own place? Seeing my silence, she thought I realized my mistake, and her tone grew even more smug. Look at yourself now. Who else would want you besides me? Rich people have plenty of options. There are tons of gentle young guys out there. You think everyone is as stupid as me, giving up 18-year-old college boys, just to lower myself and act like your lapdog. When we were dating, she did apologize to me many times, but that was because she had zero boundaries. If it wasn't random guys asking for her WeChat, it was her accepting flowers from suitors on the street. I only asked her to apologize, yet she acted like she was the victim. All those suffocating memories flooded back. My expression instantly darkened. Is that so? Then I've really burdened President Liu. Good thing you were smart enough to break up back then. Otherwise, you would have suffered for a lifetime. Since you know you misjudged me, don't tangle with me this time. Let's just part ways with some dignity. With that, I turned to leave. Lou Ruan immediately panicked. What do you mean by that? The wedding is almost ready. Stop messing with me, okay? Just then, Jingshin stepped out from behind her, the diamond ring on his hand blindingly bright. This must be Mr. Jiang, the man Ruan has loved for 5 years. Hello, in Lou Ruan's ex-husband, Jingshin, currently her best friend. Mr. Jiang's temper truly lives up to its reputation. I was almost scared myself. He then leaned in, playing the peacemaker. Mr. Jiang, please don't be angry anymore. During her 5 years abroad, Ruan constantly praised you to me. Oh, and I helped her pick out those suits. So, did you like any of them? I shot him a cold glare. Jingshin walked over to Lou Ruan and nudged her gently. Hurry up and apologize to Mr. Jiang. Men are like that. He's only throwing a tantrum because he likes you. Did you think everyone would be as tolerant of you as I am? Lou Ruan instinctively went to apologize. I turned and grabbed my son's hand, putting on a polite smile. So Mr. Zhao picked out those suits. I haven't even had the chance to thank you. My son had a lot of fun playing with them. The quality was just a bit lacking. Come on, baby, thanked the nice uncle. My son's innocent eyes darted back and forth between us. Jingshin froze, then let out a soft chuckle. Mr. Jiang really loves to joke. You're not even married. Where would a kid come from? Saying things like that will break Ruyan's heart. During those years abroad, she got drunk almost every night. She even called your name in her sleep. When I was helping her wipe down, she mistook me for you several times. Now that you two are finally getting back together, stop being so angry. Hurry and let the kid go, or his dad will get anxious. Lou Ruan stared at me intently, as if trying to burn a hole through my face. Whose kid is this? What have you been doing behind my back, Jiang Muyan? How could you do this to me? Jingshin let out a soft "oh" and gently nudged his elbow against her. Can't you see? You made him wait for 5 years. Mr. Jiang just hired an actor to spite you. Lou Ruan visibly sighed in relief. Muyan, I know you're mad about me going abroad, but I really had no choice back then. I'm back now, aren't I? Stop being mad and let the kid go. Daddy, today I won't do anything. I'll just stay with you. You can even max out my credit card, she said, stepping forward to grab me. My son was scared to tears. He hugged my leg tightly, refusing to let go. Daddy, who is she? Why did she say you're not my daddy? I don't want to leave you, and not going. The moment the word daddy slipped out, the entire place felt dead silent. Fury flared across Lou Ruan's face. She raised her hand to strike. Who's your daddy? Don't just call anyone that. Shut up. My son cried even louder. I was genuinely furious. I immediately pulled my son into a tight hug. Are you sick in the head? Can't you understand? This is my son. He's 4 years old. Lou Ruan's eyes widened. Her hands suspended in mid-air dropped limply. Your son. I was planning to marry you. No! I waited 5 years and gave everything to come back to you. And you're telling me you have a son. Jiang Muyan, do you think I'm a joke? Jingshin stepped forward anxiously. On the surface, he was trying to mediate, but every word added fuel to the fire. Ruyan, calm down. Maybe after you left, Mr. Jiang was so heartbroken that he made a mistake. It's understandable. As long as he's not married, you can just be a stepmother. The Liu family isn't short on money to raise a kid. With just a few casual words, he painted me as someone with a messy private life. The onlookers immediately started whispering. Wasn't this guy dumped by someone, and then found some honest girl to take the fall? My God, she waited for him for 5 years. Having an illegitimate child is one thing, but having such a terrible attitude. He's really pushing his luck. He's not even that good looking. That girl must be truly blind. I think the guy next to her is way more handsome. Those two are a much better match. The gossip grew louder and louder. Jingshin pretended to pull me aside. Mr. Jiang, stop being angry. So many people are watching. Are you purposely trying to embarrass Ruyan? Just apologize, and I'll help talk to Ruyan for you. She listens to me the most. She'll even help you take care of the kid. Liu Ruyan gripped my wrist tightly, so hard it felt like she was trying to crush my bone. I can help you take care of it, but I need to know who that woman is. Mid-sentence, she suddenly softened, her voice dropping lower. You're just taking advantage of the fact that I love you. I can't bear to blame you. But dealing with a woman is easy enough. I let out a cold laugh, shook off her hand, and held my son tightly. If President Liu is so capable, go investigate it yourself. After all, you decided on this wedding all by yourself. I turned to leave. Liu Ruyan's bodyguards blocked my path. Until this matter is fully investigated, you're not going anywhere. Afraid of scaring my son, I didn't blow up on the spot. I had no choice but to endure another hour in the shop, till the bodyguard brought a video of a dance at a bar. Liu Ruyan's eyes turned red with rage as she smashed the phone. You fell for a damn stripper. Jiang Muyan just to piss me off. You really dare to do anything. My eyes fell on the frozen screen. That was before we got married. Fu Yanren had learned that dance just to make me happy. Liu Ruyan grabbed me by the collar, her nose almost touching my face. I won't let this woman off. After I ruin her, I'll pretend this never happened. But if I ever catch you going to a place like that again, you know exactly what the consequences will be. Jingshin took a sip of coffee, laughing so hard he leaned back. Ruyan, take it easy. You used to go to places like that all the time abroad. Every time you got drunk, you called me to pick you up. Mr. Jiang was far away, so it's understandable you were heartbroken and found someone to keep you company. What do you know? I'm a woman. How can he be compared to me? After venting her anger, Liu Ruyan took a deep breath. I'll handle this woman. After we're married, the kid belongs to the Liu family. I won't let him and his mother ever see each other again. As for you, go home and be a good boy waiting for the wedding. Don't even think about stepping out of the house for the next 6 days. With that, she grabbed Jingshin, and the two of them left arm in arm. Ruyan, stop pouting. Let's grab a few drinks tonight. Come on, let's go. I'll call a few more people to join us. Their voices gradually faded away. My son timidly tugged at my hand. Daddy, who was that lady? A crazy person. Don't tell Mommy about this. After her little stunt, I lost all mood to stroll around. Just as we stepped out of the shop, an employee chased after us, holding 3 shopping bags. "These are gifts President Liu bought for you. Since you were still in the shop, we didn't have to deliver them. Please take them." I opened the bags to look. Inside were the exact same things from 5 years ago. The wedding rings I had once picked out for the 2 of us. Unfortunately, the style was outdated, and the feelings had long expired. That night, right after I coaxed my son to sleep, Jingshin, who somehow got my number, sent me a friend request. He sent a video from a VIP room in a bar. Lou Ruan was dead drunk, mumbling to herself. "Isn't it just a kid? Anyone can give birth. After we get married, I'll give him 8 or 10 kids, so he wouldn't dream of fooling around outside." Jingshin sent him a voice message, laughing mockingly. "Don't overthink it. Ruan is just tough on the outside but soft on the inside. Don't worry in taking care of her. Nothing's gonna happen. Just sit tight and wait for the wedding." But at the end of the video, he deliberately showed a hotel room card on the table. "Have 8 or 10 kids. I was so furious I almost smashed my phone. Looks like there's no need to hide this marriage anymore. Hearing that I wanted to go public with our marriage, Fu Yanren was so thrilled she posted 3 times in a row. "That's right, I have a husband. We even have an adorable son. We'll be holding our makeup wedding in 6 days. Everyone is welcome to attend." On the day of the wedding, my husband received a transfer of 50 million. It was from Yanren with just one note: dowry, voluntarily given. No regrets ever. When Lou Ruan led a massive, flashy wedding convoy right up to my front door, there was no one home. She stood outside waiting for 2 hours. Her face grew increasingly impatient, bringing along a stepchild. "It's a miracle I haven't lost my temper yet, and she still dares to put on airs with me." She kicked the door, banging it loudly, waking up all the neighbors. The moment Lou Ruan said she was here to pick up the groom, the neighbors were dumbfounded and burst out laughing. The Jiang family's son has been married for 5 years. They even have a kid. They're just holding the makeup wedding today. You've got the wrong house. Lou Ruan's legs went stiff. She almost collapsed. "What did you say? Having a wedding with who?" "With Ms. Fu Yanren, of course." The neighbor lady said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Those 2 have been married for years. Their son is already 4. They're just having the ceremony today, at the biggest hot spring hotel in the city. I heard they brought in 3 truckloads of flowers alone. Hidden marriage? Fu Yanren? Liu Ruan's voice pitched up sharply. She grabbed the neighbor's arm tightly. "Impossible. You must be mistaken. Muyan promised to wait 5 years for me. I just divorced Jingshin. How could he?" The neighbor's arm was hurting from the grip. She quickly yanked it away. "What are you doing? How could I be mistaken? A few years ago, when Muyan's wife was pregnant with Yangxi, he took her to her prenatal checkups every single day. They always walked right out of this building. I saw it with my own eyes." Seeing Liu Ruyan's face turn deathly pale, the lady got a bit spooked and took 2 steps back. "I gotta go make dinner for my husband, and not talking to you anymore. If you want to find Muyan, just ring the doorbell." Liu Ruan stared at the tightly shut door. Her mind went blank as memories from 5 years ago came rushing back. That day, in the living room, she was hugging Jiang Muyan. Her fingers traced the photo album in his hands. "Let's hold it at this hotel, okay?" Back then, Jiang Muyan had smiled and nodded. Tears soaked into her shirt. He said, "Okay." Now his wedding really was at that hotel. But the bride was no longer her. Her phone suddenly buzzed. The screen displayed 3 words: Jingshin. "Hello? Ruyan, how's it going?" Jingshin's voice echoed through the phone speaker, carrying a probing tone. "I told you not to bring up the wedding the second you got. You have to soften Muyan up first. You didn't get into a fight with him, did you? Did you pick up the..." Liu Ruan gripped her phone tightly. Her knuckles turned white. The neighbor said, "Muyan is holding his makeup wedding with Fu Yanren. They even have a 4-year-old son." The other end of the line went silent for 2 seconds. Then Jingshin burst into exaggerated laughter. "Are you kidding me? Fu Yanren. Isn't she the living Yama of the financial world? She's so cold she doesn't even have a single romantic rumor. How could she possibly marry Muyan? That neighbor lady must be going blind. She definitely got the wrong person." He paused, then pretended to analyze it seriously for her. "Listen to me. Muyan is probably still mad about you leaving so suddenly back then. So he purposely found someone to put on an act to piss you off. Think about it. Remember how clingy he used to be with you. You'd go on a business trip for 3 days, and he'd video call you every single day. How could he actually marry someone else? Who knows, that kid might just be his friend's child, dragged in to play along." Lou Ruan's eyes lit up, like she had just grasped a lifeline. "Really? He's just mad at me. What else could it be?" Jingshin's voice was full of certainty. "Hurry up and go to the hotel to check it out. If they're really having a wedding,
then storm in and clear things up with Muyin. I'm cheering for you from here. If that doesn't work, I'll head over immediately to back you up. I guarantee I'll help you snatch him back. Hanging up, Lou Ruan started the car and sped off. Her hands gripping the steering wheel were still trembling. Her mind was filled with Chu Jingshin's words. It has to be an act. Muyin couldn't possibly choose anyone else. He was still waiting for her. The Hot Spring Hotel was in the suburbs. It took Lou Ruan 40 minutes to drive there. The moment she parked in the lot, she was stopped by two security guards in black suits. "Excuse me, do you have an invitation?" The guard's face was stone cold, his sharp gaze sweeping over her. "Today is Vice President Fu's wedding reception. No entry without an invitation." Vice President Fu? Fu Yanren. Liu Ruan's heart pounded wildly. Is there a man in a suit inside? Named Jiang Muyin, Vice President Fu's husband, is indeed surnamed Jiang. The guard frowned, his voice growing colder. "Miss, did you hear me clearly? If you don't have an invitation, please leave. Don't interfere with our work. If you disrupt the wedding, you won't be able to bear the consequences." Panicking, Liu Ruan reached out, trying to force her way in. "I'm a friend of Jiang Muyin. I have an urgent matter with him. Let me in." Halt. The two guards immediately stepped up to block her, pinning her in place. "If you keep causing trouble, we won't hold back." Liu Ruan looked toward the hotel entrance. Fate music drifted from inside. Her panic grew heavier by the second. She caught a glimpse of a staff member nearby, carrying a tray inside. Taking advantage of the guard's distraction, she pretended to be a server and slipped in. The banquet hall was covered in white roses. Liu Ruan's gaze swept through the crowd and locked onto the stage. I was wearing a custom-tailored suit, my hair neatly styled, smiling at the woman beside me. She was wearing a white wedding dress, looking incredibly elegant. It was the exact same woman from the video that day. Wasn't she a bar dancer? How could she be Fu Yanren of the financial world? Liu Ruan's breath hitched. She watched as Fu Yanren held the ring and carefully slipped it onto my finger. Her movements were unbelievably gentle. Below the stage, a little boy in a tiny suit was standing on his tiptoes, calling out in a sweet childish voice, "Daddy, Mommy, hurry up and give him the ring." It was the little boy from the mall that day. Liu Ruan's breathing stopped. Her heart felt like it was being crushed by an invisible hand. It hurt so much she could barely breathe. She saw the smile in my eyes, a tenderness she had never seen before. The firm vows echoed in her ears. Unable to hold back, she shoved through the crowd and rushed the stage. "Muyin, you can't marry her. You promise you wait for me. I've already divorced Chu Jingshin and back. Today is supposed to be our wedding. You can't do this to me." I stumbled as she yanked. I forcefully shook off her hand. My eyes were ice cold. "Liu Ruan, are you crazy? Today is my wedding with my wife. It has nothing to do with you. From beginning to end. I never agreed to marry you." Fu Yanren stepped forward, shielding me behind her. Her gaze was sharp and cold. "Miss, please watch your words and actions. If you continue to harass my husband, I won't hesitate to have security escort you out." "I'm harassing him." Liu Ruan's eyes turned red as she pointed at her own chest. "Muyan and I were together for years. We made it clear we were going to get married. If my family hadn't forced me into an arranged marriage back then, how could I have ever left?" "Muyan, did you forget what we said to each other? You said you'd wait 5 years for me. I'm back. How could you marry someone else?" Her eyes grew redder, tears welling up. Her eyes grew redder, tears welling up. The surrounding guests turned to look one by one. The whispers grew louder and louder. Liu Ruan ignored them and lunged forward to grab my hand again. "Muyan, come with me. I'll treat you well. Can we just start over? I'm begging you. I've already prepared our wedding. Don't marry her. I can't lose you again." I took a step back, avoiding her grasp. My voice was full of sarcasm. "Start over? Liu Ruan, what makes you think we can ever start over? 5 years ago, you silently went abroad. I chased after you to find you. I thought the Liu family was forcing you into a marriage. I wanted to save you. But what was the result? I was thrown into the police station by your bodyguards and starved for 2 days. Where were you then? After I came back, I cried every single day. I became nothing but skin and bones. Where were you then?" Liu Ruan's face turned deathly pale. She opened her mouth but couldn't utter a single word. "You say you've divorced Chu Jingshin, so I'm just supposed to get back together with you." I laughed coldly. "Liu Ruan, you're way too full of yourself. My time isn't meant for waiting around for your mistakes, or waiting for you to turn back. I am very happy now. Please leave or I'm calling security." Her eyes were bloodshot as she practically screamed. "Then why didn't you tell me sooner? Watching me get spun around by you like a toy. You really enjoyed that, didn't you? I had the wedding all prepared. I prepared everything.
And yet you turned my sincerity into a complete joke. I was so angry I actually laughed. I never told you? I did tell you. You just didn't believe me. My son spoke up timidly. Daddy, why is it this lady again? Is there something wrong with her head? Lou Ruan suddenly lost her mind. She turned and climbed onto the second floor railing. With one leg already over, she screamed down at the stage. Muyin, if you don't come with me, I'll jump. I mean it. The guests instantly fell into chaos. Some screamed while others hurriedly pulled out their phones to record. My expression changed. But Fu Yanran immediately grabbed my shoulder. Don't panic. Let me handle this. Get down. Fu Yanran looked up at her. Her voice was calm but full of authority. If you truly want what's best for Muyin, then stop causing a scene here. Let him finish his wedding in peace. No. Liu Ruyan's eyes were red. Not unless Muyin comes with. With that, she closed her eyes and jumped. Thud. She crashed onto the carpet below the stage. Her knees immediately started bleeding, but it was as if she couldn't feel the pain. The moment she scrambled up, she lunged toward the stage. Muyin, come with me. Security. Fu Yanran's voice was icy. The guards on standby immediately rushed over, pinning Liu Ruyan down hard. I looked at her pathetic state. My voice didn't waver in the slightest. Liu Ruyan, stop making a scene. If you're here to give your blessing, I thank you. If you're here to cause trouble, the Fu family's security won't be so polite. Liu Ruyan, let go of Mu. My parents pushed through the crowd and rushed over. My dad grabbed Liu Ruyan's arm. How much longer are you going to ruin Muyin's life? Uncle, I truly love Muyin. Chu Jingshin and I are divorced. Liu Ruyan struggled, trying to explain. Divorced? My mom, eyes red, cut her off. Her voice trembled. Back then, after you left, Muyin waited for your call every single day. When you didn't call, he went to wait at the airport. Finally, when he was completely out of options, he bought a ticket to go abroad and find you. And then what? The moment he arrived at your wedding, your bodyguards treated him like a lunatic. He was thrown into the police station, starved for 2 whole days and nights. After he came back, he locked himself in his room every day. He wouldn't eat, wouldn't speak. He wasted away to just skin and bones. In the end, he even took sleeping pills. If Yanran hadn't found him in time and rushed him to the hospital, you wouldn't even be seeing him right now. Tears fell from my mom's eyes. Now he has a wife and a child. His wife is even pregnant. He's living a peaceful life. Lou Ruyan, if you have even a shred of conscience left, then stop bothering him. You two have been over for a long time. The guards grabbed Liu Ruyan and dragged her out. She struggled, turning her head back. She saw Fu Yanran bend down to pick up a dropped ring. Gently slip it back onto my finger and whisper, "Don't be mad. It's not worth it." I leaned into Fu Yanran's embrace. I nodded slightly. That image stabbed into Liu Ruyan's heart like a knife. It hurt so much she could barely breathe. After being thrown out of the hotel, Liu Ruyan slumped to the ground outside the venue. Blood was still seeping from her knees, but she didn't feel the pain. Her phone suddenly buzzed. It was the wedding planning company. President Liu, why aren't you here yet? The wedding hall is all set up. We're just waiting for you and Mr. Jiang. Cancel it. Liu Ruyan's voice was hoarse, devoid of any warmth. Cancel it. The person on the other end was stunned. President Liu, this is the wedding you've been preparing for 3 months. The banquet hall, the suits, the reception, everything is already paid for. If you cancel, the losses will be massive. I said cancel it. Liu Ruyan screamed, smashing her phone onto the ground. The screen shattered, just like her heart in that moment. She leaned against a streetlight. Her mind was entirely filled with John Muyin. Those images kept replaying in her head. Every single scene made her ache to the point of suffocation. Not long after, her phone rang again. It was her mother calling. She picked up the broken phone and swiped to answer. Ruyan, how's the wedding going? Muyin isn't giving you a hard time, is he? Mom, stop asking. Liu Ruyan's anger exploded. If you and Dad hadn't forced me to marry Chu Jingshin back then, how could I have lost Muyin? Now he's married to someone else. He even has a kid. Are you happy now? Force you? Mother, Liu froze. Then her voice filled with grievance. Ruyan, when did we ever force you? Back then, you were the one who said you wanted to marry Chu Jingshin. We tried to stop you, but we couldn't. You said it yourself. Liu Ruyan was stunned. Her voice started to tremble. How could I have... Mom, don't... Back then, you clearly said that if I didn't marry him, you wouldn't let me return to the country to see him. When did we ever...
Her father's voice rang out from the other end of the line, filled with anger. Ruyan, are you out of your mind? Back then, we even advised you to live a good life with Mu. You were the one who refused. You insisted on marrying Chu Jingshin, no matter. Now that Muyan has married someone else, you turn around and... Lou Ruyan hung up, her mind in utter chaos. Her mother's words were completely different from Chu Jingshin. Could it be that her parents didn't force her back then? Then why did Chu Jingshin lie to her, ignoring her injuries? Liu Ruyan drove straight to Chu Jingshin's house. He opened the door, saw her, and immediately smiled. Ruyan, why are you here? Did Muyan make up with you yet? I thought you'd be tangled up with him until midnight. Liu Ruyan stared at him, her eyes piercingly cold. Chu Jingshin, back then about me marrying you, did you lie to me? My mom said they didn't force me, that I was the one who wanted to marry you, but I never said those words. I love you. Chu Jingshin froze, then his eyes immediately turned red. Ruyan, how could you say that about me? Weren't we both out of options back then? Did you forget? At the time you told me your parents didn't approve of you and Muyan and kept forcing you to marry me. Otherwise, they'd cut off all your money and make it so you could never return to the country for the rest of your life. That's why I married you, to help you deal with your parents. He grabbed Liu Ruyan's sleeve, tears falling. I'm a man. I married you quickly and divorced you quickly. Now outsiders are all laughing at me. What did I even gain from this? Wasn't it because I saw you as my best friend that I wanted to help you? Seeing his aggrieved expression, the doubts in Liu Ruyan's heart wavered again. She sighed. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. Maybe I just remembered it wrong. It's fine. I know your mind is a mess right now. Chu Jingshin wiped his tears. He smiled and patted her shoulder. If you still want to make up with Muyan, I'll keep thinking of ways to help you. We're best friends, right? I'll definitely help you. Liu Ruyan nodded, then turned and left. She didn't see that the moment she turned her back, a vicious glint flashed in Chu Jingshin's eyes. Liu Ruyan returned home, tossing and turning in bed, unable to sleep. She thought of Jiang Muyan. Remembering his words, her chest felt suffocatingly tight. She opened WeChat, using an alt account to add Jiang Muyan. Clicking on his moments, it was filled with his life. The first photo was Fu Yanren playing with puzzles with Yangtze. The second was Fu Yanren peeling shrimp for him. The third was their family of 3 on a beach vacation. The sunlight fell on them, radiating a warmth so beautiful it made people jealous. Liu Ruyan stared at those photos, tears uncontrollably streaming down her face. She remembered telling Jiang Muyan back then that she would take him on a beach vacation, that she would raise kids with him. But she hadn't kept a single one of those promises. The more she looked, the more her heart ached. She closed WeChat and immediately ordered someone to investigate what happened back then. 2 days later, her assistant brought the documents to her. President Liu, I've found it. Back then, the Zhou family set a trap to swallow up all of the Liu family's domestic assets. They forced the old madam and old master to go abroad. Mr. Zhou forged messages from the old madam and intercepted every single message you sent to Mr. Jiang, including the ones from that year, where you tried to explain things to him. The assistant handed over the documents. There's also an audio recording between Mr. Zhou and his father discussing how they set you up and how they forced you and Mr. Jiang to break up. Liu Ruyan took the documents, her hands beginning to tremble. She remembered every time Zhou Jingshin had said, Ruyan, we're friends. That's why I want to help you. It turned out it was all a lie. He had been deceiving her from the very beginning. Liu Ruyan's fury exploded. She grabbed her car keys and rushed straight to Zhou Jingshin's house. No one was at the Zhou residence. She called Zhou Jingshin, but no one answered. She remembered the bar Zhou Jingshin frequented and immediately drove there. Inside the bar, the lights were dim and the music was deafening. Lou Ruyan spotted Zhou Jingshin in a corner. He was leaning into the arms of a strange woman, holding a glass of wine, drunkenly slurring his words. Looking closely at the woman, her features resembled Ruyan's by 80%. It was so similar it was sickening. Lou Ruyan, that idiot. She actually thought I saw her as a bro. I stayed by her side for 5 whole years. I don't believe she hasn't caught feeling. So what if Jiang Muyan is married? Sooner or later, she'll be mine. So what if he divorces? So what if she doesn't like me? And the only one who's truly sincere to her? Standing not far away, Liu Ruyan heard every single word clearly. Her heart felt like it had been struck by a heavy blow, hurting so much she could barely stand. She lunged forward, grabbed Zhou Jingshin and yanked him up, slamming him hard against the wall. Blood immediately gushed out. Zhou Jingshin, you've been lying to me all along. Zhou Jingshin looked at her drunkenly, smiled, and said, Ruyan, why are you here? Did you come to take me home? Shut up. Liu Ruyan screamed, her eyes filled with pure hatred. Zhou Jingshin,
You deserve to die. Sober up and go atone for your sins. She turned and stormed out of the bar. Only one thought remained in her mind. Find Jiang Muyan, explain everything to him, and beg for his forgiveness. She drove to the Fu family villa. It was already late, but the lights inside were still on. Through the window, she saw a heartwarming scene. Fu Yanran was sitting with Miangxi, watching cartoons. Jiang Muyan sat on the sofa beside them, occasionally looking up at them, with a gentle smile on his lips. The little boy called out Daddy 10 times a minute, and every single time Jiang Muyan answered, Daddy's here. Be a good boy, Mianxi. Don't bother Mommy. It's fine. I actually like Mianxi being like this. He needs to be a little brave, so he won't get tricked by bad women in the future. Jiang Muyan's smile faltered slightly. Not knowing what he was thinking about, his voice deepened. That's right. Don't let bad people trick my son. In the future, you have to find someone perfect, just like your mom. Lou Ruan's heart clenched. Her hand, about to knock on the door, froze in mid-air. She didn't have the strength to lower it. That's right. In his eyes now, she was a bad person, a liar, a lunatic, anything but his lover. She was the only stain in his life. She recalled every little detail of her time with Jiang Muyan back then. Those once sweet memories had now turned into sharp knives, stabbing her until she was covered in wounds that night. The wind swept the fallen leaves across the ground. Lou Ruan crouched in front of the door like a lost child, helpless and despairing. She didn't know how much time had passed. Mianxi suddenly looked toward the door. When I turned my head to follow his gaze, there was nothing but a patch of fallen leaves. That night, I looked at the empty steps in front of the door, with only a few leaves blown over by the wind. My heart didn't ripple in the slightest. Yanran carried a sleeping Mianxi over, gently hugging my waist from behind and resting her chin on my shoulder. Her soft voice carried a hint of sleepiness. The wind is strong out there. Come inside or you'll catch a cold. I reached back and held her hand, my fingertips brushing against her slightly swollen belly. That was where our second child was growing. My heart melted into a puddle. 5 years ago, I thought my life was rotting in the mud. It was her who pulled me out, piecing me back together bit by bit and giving me a real home. The next morning, Mianxi ran up to the bed in his little slippers, rubbing his small head against my arm and calling out in his childish voice, Daddy, wake up. Mommy made soft-boiled eggs. If you don't get up, I'm gonna eat them all. I laughed, pulling the little guy into my arms and pinching his soft cheeks. You greedy little cat, who ate 2 ice creams yesterday and got a tummy ache. Mianxi stuck his tongue out, then crawled out of my arms and ran to pull Yanran's hand. Mommy, Daddy's bullying me. Yanran smiled, ruffled his hair, and handed me a glass of warm milk. Her eyes were filled with an unfading tenderness. She was exactly 3 months pregnant, and her morning sickness hadn't completely passed. Her face was still a bit pale, but she woke up early every day to make breakfast for me, keeping everything in the house perfectly organized. I took the glass of milk, wrapped an arm around her waist, and let her lean into my embrace. Didn't I tell you not to wake up so early? I can do it myself. What if you get tired? It's fine. Yanran looked up at me, her eyes curving into a smile. Cooking for you and Mianxi makes me really happy. Those days were simple, yet filled with a warm happiness I wouldn't have dared to dream of 5 years ago. After dropping Mianxi off at kindergarten, I went to the company. As my assistant placed the documents on my desk, he casually mentioned some recent gossip in the industry. President Jiang, the Zhou family has completely collapsed. The assistant's voice carried a hint of awe. President Liu handed over all the evidence from back then, how the Zhou family forged documents to maliciously acquire the Liu family's domestic assets. There's also evidence of Zhou Jingshin embezzling public funds and committing commercial fraud. The Zhou family's company has now gone bankrupt and is being liquidated. Zhou Jingshin was sentenced to 7 years. He just went in yesterday. I frowned slightly, not too surprised. A guy like Zhou Jingshin, scheming at every turn, and deceiving her for 5 whole years, finally ending up like this. He completely brought it upon himself. The assistant added another detail. I heard that before Zhou Jingshin went to prison, all his fair-weather friends ran off. He went to beg President Liu, but she refused to see him. And that woman he was keeping, the one who looked like President Liu, she ran off with his last bit of money and disappeared without a trace. Now that he's in there, he's not having an easy time either. He offended quite a few people before, so he's getting bullied a lot. The guy is completely ruined. I just gave a non-committal, not asking any further. Zhou Jingshin's fate was his own choice. He wasn't worth my concern. On the other hand, Lou Ruan. People in the industry said she had become a completely different person. The old Lou Ruan was arrogant and radiant, surrounded by people wherever she went, always the center of attention in any crowd. Now she rarely showed up at social events. She handed over most of the Liu family's assets to her parents to manage, while she lived alone in a small apartment in the south of the city, the place we used to live. She almost never stepped outside. The first time I saw her again was when I took Yanran for her prenatal checkup. That day, Yanran had just finished her ultrasound. The doctor said the baby was very healthy. I was holding the ultrasound scan looking at the tiny dot on it, grinning from ear to ear.
As soon as I looked up, I saw Lou Ruan at the end of the hallway. She had lost a lot of weight, her cheeks completely hollowed out. Her long hair, which used to be meticulously styled, was now just tied back carelessly. Wearing a faded hoodie and jeans, her face was devoid of any color. Her empty eyes stared in our direction. Seeing me look over, she reacted like a startled rabbit, immediately turning around and stumbling away. Yanran followed my gaze, then gently squeezed my hand. Was that Miss Liu? I gave a soft yeah, withdrew my gaze, carefully folded the ultrasound scan into my pocket, and supported her as we walked out. Don't mind her, let's go home. Yanran smiled, not asking any further. She had never given me a hard time over Lou Ruan, not because she didn't care, but because she trusted me and understood me enough. I had long since let go of the past. My present and future only held her and our children.
Later, I heard from Uncle Wang that Lou Ruan had come to our neighborhood a few times. Every time she would stand outside the gate looking from afar, watching Niancy play in the yard, but never daring to approach. Once, Niancy ran outside with a kite and almost bumped into her. She was so panicked she clumsily helped Niancy pick up the kite, then muttered a trembling apology before hurriedly running away, as if terrified of being caught by me. Hearing this, I just flatly said, "Got it," and said nothing more. Some people in the industry also said that Lou Ruan cried every day while holding old photos, visiting all the places we used to go together. The seaside homestay, the mountain observation deck, even the old noodle shop we frequented back in school. She would sit in the shop all afternoon, ordering 2 bowls of the beef noodles I used to love most. One bowl was placed opposite her, untouched, while she barely ate a few bites from her own, her tears falling into the broth. She finally knew how to regret. Regretted silently going abroad back then. Regretted leaving me alone to suffer all the humiliation. Regretted believing Jingshin's lies. Regretted pushing away the person who loved her most with her own hands. But when she finally escaped the deception and turned back, I was no longer standing there waiting. There is no cure for regret in this world. Over the weekend, I took Yanran and Miangxi to the beach for a vacation. Miangxi ran barefoot on the sand, picking up a whole pile of colorful seashells, saying he wanted to string them into the most beautiful necklace for his unborn little sister. Yanran sat under a sun umbrella, smiling as she watched him. I sat beside her, peeling grapes for her, feeding them to her one by one. The gentle sea breeze blew over, carrying a warm, salty scent. The warm sunlight draped over us, making even the wind taste sweet. Niancy ran over and threw himself into my arms, holding up the biggest seashell. "Daddy, look, this seashell is so pretty. Let's save it for Mommy." I laughed, took it, and handed it to Yanran. Watching the two of them laugh so happily, my heart was filled with peace. Yanran leaned on my shoulder and whispered, "This is so nice." I leaned down, kissed her forehead lightly, and held her hand tight. "Yeah, with you and the kids here, anywhere is nice." As for Lou Ruan, her regrets, her remorse, her tears, none of it had anything to do with me anymore. Her life was her own choice. For better or worse, she had to bear it herself. There had long been no place for her in my life. My tenderness, my favoritism, the rest of my life, it was all reserved only for my wife, for my children, for the person who gave me a home. As the sun set, Niangxi held my hand and Yanran's, leaving a trail of footprints on the sand, stretching far into the distance. I looked at Yanran beside me, her eyes curving into a smile. Only one thought remained in my heart. A lifetime like this is pretty damn good.